Yeah. So yes, do it again. We just put a spell on you. So there were these folks who were our peers who were more visibly or maybe out totally or at least more visibly queer. Who was that for you? And or like, yeah, like what was your experience with like more like queer inspiration, queer peers, or our experience as being that person too could be?
I know a couple of gentlemen who I was like, oh, definitely. And
like, couldn't be me. You're like, oh.
No. No, but one guy was very flamboyant, and he swore up and down that he wasn't, as we would do, and then another guy that was a little more goth emo. Well, I wouldn't say goth. He was like, I guess, more emo. Just had that like, that vibe to him.
That darkness. that soul.
And I just, I remember him not having a whole lot of friends and kind of being a little bit on the outs. And then he went to college, and I remember, I wish that, I had connected with him a little bit earlier. Because he seemed like a really nice guy, but it's just because of the emo thing and then like the queer thing. It's like,
and you need to stay
safe.
Around, so you're trying to not associate. Yeah, you're like, I can't associate because then they're gonna say,
Look, I learned very early that social life in school is like, by association. If you're associated with the wrong person, you're just
that will happen.
Yeah, and I learned that in fourth grade.
Jesus.
No, that Catholic school that I went to, 4th through 8th grade, I was done. I came from a different public school, and I went to this private Catholic school, and they greeted me. They all made cards for me, and it was very welcoming. And then a few weeks later, I was doing like a school project or something, and they had this guy. I don't want to say his name, but a very unfortunate last name. And the rumor was that he cut his nipple off with scissors or something.
So now everyone's going to know. You remember?
Yeah.
Send us an email. I'm joking.
No. Clocked. But I mean, it's just like, we did the project together, and I was talking with him, and I was pleasant. I mean, we were nice. We weren't like close best friends or anything, but then all of a sudden I became associated with him, and then I became like a pariah along with him. Jesus. And it was like, okay, from then on, every day that I went in, I couldn't speak up in class without them like snapping at me or laughing, or now there's a rumor, and then there's the kids were horrible. The teachers were not much better, because they always suspected me of doing something. Like, I'm trying to, like you heard, I'm trying to be head down, just like chilling, and you guys are suspecting me, one of 3 black kids in the class in the whole grade, because we had like 60 kids in the grade. So there was all that going on. So yeah. Rough times. I don't know. How do we get back here? I have a lot of trauma.
Yeah, she said, I would love to talk about high school. I got a lot of saying. And baby, I'm glad you're speaking it, though, because it's funny how influential that time of our life is, right? Like, that informs so much of then the next decades of living that we do. And then ultimately when we figured out the work that we got to do, to realize where it's like, like, thank you for saving me at that time, whatever that mechanism was we used, right? Keeping our heads down is a mechanism. It's like, that might have saved your life at that point. And then at a certain point, it sounds like you were like, now I don't know how to connect with people. This is no longer serving me. I actually have to figure this out now. And I have to let go of that old survival mechanism.
Absolutely.
And you know, don't ever apologize for or even think that you shouldn't go there, because the BoyFriends podcast, where, you know, like you say,
find your circle
and your man, this is your baby. And I've seen episodes and all those things. I'm like, this is your baby. And we thank you for bringing us here to this safe space. So we are glad we can be here to even make us help you have a safe space, because those are things that you should get out. And I hope people that you went to school with see this, because I want them to know who you are and how great you are and who you are today.
Thank you, Deleqúa.
You're welcome, darling.
To make me emotional, girl.
You're welcome. God bless you, baby. No, because seriously, your life is real. Yeah, it's real. This is your work.
This is your work in life, and this is how you heal the world, is by doing the work and then making it your message. And baby,
absolutely.
The message.
The journey.
Somebody else going right there with you.
I'm still here. Tisha Campbell, we love you, okay? If you see this, we love you.
He's like, where are we?
No, I was like, that's for y'all and them.
Oh,
that's
hilarious. That's exactly where my head went.
Yeah, I love it.
What was the original question though? Oh, who was that? Who was that kid? Yeah, those were the kids that I clocked, and they probably clocked me too. But we know it was like we're not gonna put each other out there, you know.
So your experience was like folks who were more visibly queer, or like, you know, showing that they were pariahs. They were often on the outskirts.
Yeah,
so that maybe informed your being like, I can't do that actually.
Yeah. I mean, it really showed me how your association with the wrong person can, but you know, like, it really, like, I also want to say this, it's like, it kind of messed me up a little bit too, in the sense that because all of those kids were very mean, I started thinking like, okay, this is kind of how I need to be in order to move throughout the world. And I had to unlearn some behaviors that weren't really good. Because I can remember, because, you know, the one kid that was emo or something, I remember we were in gym class and we were playing like dodgeball or volleyball or something, and like he grabbed the ball and I like kind of like backed away from him because I was like, you know, I did one of those things, and I did not like that I did that. I hate that I did that, and you know, I saw him in college maybe a couple years later, and I was like, hey, how are you? You know, you good? You know, just like a quick catch up. I think he appreciated at least the acknowledgement and, you know, the friendliness. I didn't really like go back. Oh, I wasn't like going to be like, so I'm so sorry that I did blah, 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 blah. Cause like, whatever, he's not going to care. But yeah, I had to unlearn some of my own stuff. Yeah. And I don't know. I think sometimes, people, because of that upbringing, I come off very snobbish, snippy, mainline kind of personality. Yeah. And I think some people see that, and I think sometimes there's like a hesitance to be closer or to get to know me because of that, because it's just kind of how I was raised, unfortunately. So I mean, it's good because I mean, I'll make them comfortable, and I'll say, "Come on, it's like I'm not gonna bite you unless you fuck with me. Don't fuck with me, but we'll be good. We'll be good. Don't fuck with me." But I feel like I've been talking so much, like,
and that's okay. That's your prerogative. Deleqúa, what is your experience, high school or so, like with queer peers or being the queer peer potentially? Yeah.
Well. Picture it. Sicily, 1940. No. Yeah, I literally was that one. I was doing "Looking So Crazy in Love," got me looking so crazy in love. In 9th and 10th grade, you know, I'm doing all of that.
Wait,
you know?
doing all of that. What's the setting? Is this at the school dance? Is this at the township?
All of them.
Oh, yes.
I would do it in the middle. I would do it in the middle of the cafeteria.
Oh wow. Okay.
Icon.
Yes.
I would literally do Beyonce dances. Every place we went, my friends too, we would do Beyonce dances. This is not a game. And my friend, they will attest to this, you know. But I also got picked on. I got picked on because I remember this one time they dared, and I'm going to talk about it because I've never talked about it. So this one thing did happen where this one gentleman in the middle of the lunch, right? It's like probably like 50, 60 people in the lunchroom. They dared the one gentleman to come give me a kiss in front of everybody, right? And then it was like this whole setup thing, and the whole school was like, right? I will never forget that moment because I had that moment, but before that, I even had a moment where in middle school, because I've had quite a few moments where I was picked on, but see, those moments I got back. They're lucky I didn't know what I know now. Because I would have been sending my goons.
Sometimes.
Not physical goons, though.
Yeah. If I knew then what I know now.
Honey, if I knew the stuff I knew then that I promise you, my ocean energy would have been on full carry. The carrying
will roll.
Listen, the wrath. Y'all thought God's wrath on Noah's Ark was something when he flooded the earth, darling. Woo! Now.
Oh God!
So back then he was like, they took it more. It sounds like when people picked on you, you were in the moment of like protecting.
Yeah,
and then, and if you were able to be there with yourself now, then you would have fucked them up.
Now, y'all, there would have been some divination involved. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, do it again. We just put a spell on you.
Jesus.
Yo, this editing is going to be too.
You want to be in that lady's beehive?
Listen, you want to be in that lady's beehive? Miss Girl, this is, I'm sorry, and I want this to go viral. Please, I hope this do. Tiffany Montgomery, sweetheart, and I want you to do your digging on me. Please do, and talk about me and who I am. Thank you for the promotion. You might not do it. I don't care because you think that's what I want. Of course that's what I want. That's why you do what you do, right? Because your books on Amazon are for sale. Do y'all know what type they are? This is a lady that talks about Beyonce. She was a fan.
What type?
Was.
Very erotic.
Oh.
Let's get one of those for the next episode.
We should and put it right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I hope she shouts us out. That's what. But it didn't start with me. The host started it. Said you want to be part of that ladies' beehive? Yes. I'm 100% a part of that ladies' beehive. Because she brings joy. That's what we need in this world. Yeah. Maybe if you get back in the beehive, you'll have the joy that you're having, that you got to get up there and preach about her every time, and all the gays and all the trainees and all of that.
Yeah. Did you say trainees?
Wait, what is a trainee?
Maddie, I love you. T.S. Madison and Craig, I love y'all. They say that. That's where it comes from them. And they say, a trainee. Jesus. Listen, I love my community for real. You hear me? And it does. And I have to shout out T.S. Madison because she do her thing. Okay, can we shout her out, please?
Oh, please!
I had to.
Yes, we love T.S. Madison.
T.S. Madison. T.S. Madison.
We're summoning you.
Reckon. I'm a quarter reckon.
This is insane.
This is a quarter reckon, baby.
Okay.
Not Puerto Rican.
Let me tell you. Though, it's so funny. I don't know how we got here, but we're here. It was funny because I would ask people that I know that I wouldn't expect to know her, but you never know. They don't know her. And I'll be like, and then as soon as I say, well, okay, I feel like a Puerto Rican in it. They're like, yeah. And so Maddie co-sign on what you be saying. Them people that be in their cubicles talking about you, don't pay them no mind because me and my, you know what I mean, because I'll be talking about the inverted. Anyway, we love you, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
You speaking in code. I'm like, wait, what is going on?
I'm gonna take my own question real quick. We got it before we have to
the internet will inform me.
Exactly.
I'm sure.
I'm gonna take my own question, which is kind of coming off of you. For me, there was one person who in our school, again, like through even middle school, was like very visibly queer. He was like a much taller than all of us, much larger bodied than all of us, gay black man, Marcus, black boy back in the day. And he is
Marcus.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And he is like one of the most important queer figures in my life. It's like you could think it would be a celebrity or something. It's like the proximity to queerness that was so expansive. Like he was the one. We were doing the talent show together. We did the single ladies dance together. We did like getting in our little togas and doing the Hercules number together. We also were in orchestra together. So we like did drag. Yeah, exactly. And we did like a chamber chorus group, and we were like, what if we all switched? Like, what if we all like adjusted? Like, we'll wear dresses and y'all will wear suits and stuff. And so it was just the ability at that young of an age to be able to be exposed to like queer creativity. And that is really the window that he provided me, was like to be able to do that was invaluable. I wouldn't be who I am today. I probably wouldn't be doing drag. I definitely I learned how to dance and like feel my body in music, which I already loved, but I was scared to step into those spaces. But seeing him do that, and then being able to, and then like being welcomed into that space, like we were in the center of the circle, you know, we were throwing ass, we were D-macking. I don't know.
Which actually, real quick, which makes me think we could talk about how queerness and even our race plays a heavy part into it, because being queer but black and queer, we have that at the same time. That's a whole nother even topic. When I heard you also say you were like one of the only black, the same here.
Oh, really?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they had rallies in my neighborhoods areas.
Right.
Yeah. Their sheets need to be washed.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's cut the cameras. Dead ass. All right, so I guess just to kind of like wrap this up. Wait, first of all, did we cut you off with anything? Was there anything else that you wanted to like?
That was the big thing. It was just like an immense gratefulness, because I think that having somebody who was a close friend who dared to live that authentically at that age when it was not safe to do so, that was a gift that like I will now like take with me forever. And so like I feel really appreciative of it, and a lot of the best things in myself I see because of this friend who like was bold and queer and larger than life.
That.
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah, so you kind of had like a little bit of a support to kind of like walk through it with someone. I love that.
I have no idea what it would have been like otherwise. Truly, that one person made the difference for me. It's not that there weren't some other folks who were like queer, but I would say more so of your experience. They're a little on the outside, little on the fringes, the lesbians licking each other in the janitor's closet. I don't know if we're gonna. I'm not naming names. They don't watch this shit. I was like, oh. But all that is to say, yes, there was a gratefulness moment of like, yes, that person for me was important.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so I guess just to wrap it up, what is like your big takeaway from having gone through the experiences that we've all gone through in high school? Deleqúa, why don't you start us off? What
y'all start?
You want us to start?
Yes. Yeah, I think something that like high school for me now was 15 or so years ago, 15 to 20 years ago. And when I think about the work I'm doing right now at the age of 32, a lot of it harkens all the way back to that little Nicholas. It's that inner child work that's happening. And so I think like for me, one of my big takeaways that I've come through with that is, can I look at these things that used to be sources of like shame or like the things I used to feel bad about because, you know, maybe like for me, one of them was like food with coping. We talked a little bit about body image. Like it's like I found food as a coping mechanism, unbeknownst to me, but like that's what was happening there. And that was a source of shame for me in high school. I go on these extreme diets. I was like, you know, binging, dieting, like very intense, and always a lot of shame around my body with that too. And a flip of the switch, this is really the takeaway for me, is can I, that source of shame, can I actually see it as something that was a gift? That was something that was actually allowing me to make it through that time that was so difficult. And can I actually be thankful to that little Nicholas and for my body and brain at the time for being able to be intuitive enough to grab the candy bar instead of, not to get so dark, but like having a mental health crisis that could have ended me, right? And so all that is to say, flipping that script, that works every time. Where it's like this thing that feels so steeped in shame, can I look at it and have a completely different, grateful thought about that thing? And through that gratefulness and acceptance that comes from that gratefulness, that foundation to be able to then heal and choose different paths, so much more power there and so much more agency than the active shame of it, where it's just like, I gotta keep repeating this pattern over and over and over again. It's like, I understand why you're in that pattern. This is me talking to little Nicholas right now. Little Nicholas.
Wait, where's the finger? No, don't, not to little
Nicholas. I'm just kidding. Little Nicholas. I can't even think about it right now. No, I got it. Little Nicholas, it is not just okay that you are right now eating and feeling out of control and being scared about this. Like, thank you for being able to get through this as hard as it was. And thank you to food and this thing that, again, used to feel so bad. Like, thank you for being there for me when I didn't have a lot of other resources available. And now, older me, like, I can take care of little Nicholas now. I can be okay even if I take that relationship with food and start working through that. Like, I'll be okay. Yeah. I'll find other coping mechanisms. I'll build more resilience. I'll build more capacity. And so it's that inner child work that whenever I revisit high school, that's the magic that comes out of it.
Wow. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, that's why I said let me let you go, because you know me, I said top of this, authenticity. It's been just ringing. It was just ringing in my spirit. And that is a place I'm at in life too, where I think all of us in our older ages need to heal and vindicate our child selves. I put a song out called Fed Up, and I called it my vindicated song. I put my baby picture as the cover of the single, right? It's not up right now for a reason, but and it's good reasons. It's good reason. I took it down. But anyway, I put a post up and I said, this is the song that vindicates you. Because when we don't heal, I had to heal because I was adopted at birth. I think I told you all that. And I had to heal from that. And so I had to heal from that. And I feel as though as so many times as we try to, our inner child is still trying to bust out and say, hold on, remember when this happened? Heal me from that too. Oh, remember when that happened? Because literally as children, we're so fragile. And when the trauma hits a child, it's going to last forever because it hits so hard on such a fragile foundation, you know. So as we get older, we learn to heal that. But I've also learned. I'm gonna tell you who it came from. Lady Gaga. It was her documentary on Netflix. She has said, "I can't live in the past. I cannot live in it. I have to know how to honor it and move forward." Yeah. And that was 2017, I think. And I had to have that epiphany to like, you know what, D. You were a child. You can't go back to it. That's a fact. What are the facts of this? You can't go back to it. You can't change any of it. No. You just can't. That's the part. And it is unfortunate because we have duality, y'all. Duality is real. bad has to good with the good has to come the bad, which gets to the grateful piece you were speaking of. It makes you grateful, and there's a song that says, "Be grateful, be grateful." It's not really, but it's a good song. Look it up. It's from Walter Hawkins and that. Be grateful, but it takes you to that grateful piece because you start to heal, and you don't have to do outlandish things to heal it either. You can really just sit with it, let it have its moment, because you're going to be 90 years old still having the moments from 5 years old, from 6 years old. You understand what I'm saying? I take it back to even one of the last episodes. I think it's probably the first episode where you spoke about you had said was something that happened as a child, and little Nicholas remembered that was what was said.
7 years old was told you were unattractive and too large bodied.
Correct. That's exactly what you're talking about.
Vivid
and when you said that, I said, wow. I said, this is like, wow. Like for me, mine is, boys don't do that. Girls do that. You're not supposed to do that. Boys don't do what you want to. Are you gonna go be gay? You want to go. Some things that were said that just probably shouldn't have been said to a child. That in 2025, if you were to hear that, you would have the TikTok going crazy. I'll say that. Not saying that my parents are horrible. Let's not say that. We came up at a different time.
Yeah.
So some things when we came up were much more accepted and much more the norm. Like y'all hear 47, 40, 45, 47 out there talking about we're insane because we're trans.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, huh? You know, you're right, because insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. The same thing is being fabulous and feminine every day for you and all of y'all to gag over it.
I love that.
If I may, real quick, you used the word honor. That is the exact right word. Can I honor the past? And in that is honoring that old coping mechanism that got me here. It's honoring that old that older version of myself that was able to be resilient in the face of a lot of challenge. And it's like, I'm gonna honor you by not turning away from you, by not thinking that was bad. And now I can, and also now you didn't have anyone else. You didn't feel like you had anyone else. You got me now. Like I've got me now. And whoa, the power, the honor, and accepting move forward. That was big.
Yeah.
That was big.
Yeah.
Gaga.
Jeez, man. The healing that we have to go through, and just, because I've had that moment as well. I had to like kind of talk to myself and be like, okay, you're gonna be okay. I got you. I got this. You can not rest. I mean, that sounds a little morbid, but it's more. It's like
rest.
You can rest.
Rest.
You can rest.
It's
big. It's just
this reminds me
I've
of.
got this. I've got you.
Yeah.
They gave Delarice. I found a Delarice when you said rest.
Not touched by an angel.
When you walk down the road.
We got to make sure there's at least 5 songs included in every episode.
Oh man, but yeah, no, I mean,
I'm a human jukebox. I can't help it.
Thank God. Thank goodness.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think
only worth a quarter now.
I think I've kind of touched on a lot of my big takeaways. Like you said, we have to just kind of like be grateful. The good comes with the bad. I think for anyone else out there that's kind of going through a tough time, if there's anything that they can take away from our stories, it's that there is an end point, or there is a change or an inflection point, if you want to call it that, a change point where it's not as dismal as it seems. And I think at that point you can be like, okay, what am I going to do about this now? Or how am I going to change this now? Or how am I going to, how am I going to process this and be better moving forward? And I think that is kind of like a big takeaway from all of our stories for the audience here. And hopefully that can be encouraging, I mean, it was kind of corny in the 90s, early 2000s, the whole "it gets better," but it does. It's
not
true.
corny at all.
Yeah.
It's not corny at all.
Yeah. So
I think this should be a double episode. 2 episodes.
Like
I think
a two-parter.
I think we did a 2-parter. I think this is definitely worth a 2-parter.
Yeah.
Because I think the audience will love that.
Yeah.
I think it's creating a safe space for people. It's so needed for all of us, y'all. It is so needed because unless it's going to take authenticity like this to truly get the word out there, because the regime we're dealing with is I'm sorry. Jared's like, go, let's go.
No, hey.
Oh, no,
I mean, it is what it is.
We gotta tell the truth because
Yeah.
this regime is really trying it, and I feel like if they're suppressing our content, so if they can suppress our content more, we have to be more grassroots, meaning we have to put more work in. So we have to get the authentic people listening. We have to really work a little more. We can't just, the algorithms ain't gonna just push us.
No,
because they're suppressing
we have
us.
to be a lot more intentional about pushing each other out.
Correct.
There. You know, it's not just about pushing this podcast. It's about the other content creators that are doing things out there, and just kind of like, you know, I mean, it's you know. Not to pat myself on the back, but I'm just like, I needed it's 2025. I needed a trans woman. I needed a black trans woman on this podcast. I needed a drag queen on this podcast. They are coming after us. And you know, like we need to support each other, you know? So yeah, I 100% hear exactly what you're saying.
Amen. Thank you, ancestors.
Yes.
I have one little takeaway. You talked about that inflection point, and just to make it, I love making it tangible for people, right? Like last time, affirmations, I think, was such a lovely tangible. One of my favorite teachers, spiritual teachers, her name's Tara Brock, and she has this acronym. Acronyms are lovely. Acronyms help you. She's fantastic. She's just like a lot of Buddhist teachings, but she has this acronym called RAIN, and I just wanted to read the steps here. So the first one, this is basically like ways that you can like practice mindfulness and compassion towards things that might be sources of shame. How do you flip that script? Recognize is the R. Recognize what's going on, which basically means like, you know, this is happening to me. I'm now aware of it. Allow the experience to be there. So that's like accept and feel that what is happening it just as it is. Then investigate with interest and care. A lot of times we jump to investigation without allowing ourselves to really feel it and accept it, and then we get into the same loop. Just like keeps it.
Sometimes we just don't even go. We just run right past the investigation. We're like,
get out of here. I can't.
I can't deal.
And so then we can investigate with interest and care, and then the N is nurture with self-compassion, and that's that self-compassion is the like you did a fantastic job at getting through high school, little Nicholas. Like I know it was hard, and I love you for having gotten through that. But RAIN, I think it's a fantastic piece of like what like if I start to recognize it, it's like and for me the entry point is like I'm having a very big experience right now, maybe bigger than this moment, you know, takes. Like I got into an argument with my mom about her driving, and it's like it's explosive. Why? The driving doesn't explain explosiveness. Our relationship, our history, something in me explains why it's so explosive. Use the emotion as a signpost to point you, and then use this to sit with it, investigate, and then you can completely change that script on a relationship, on your relationship with yourself. So
absolutely.
I love I love all that. I love how you take care of yourself, how you give yourself all of that space too, because we are strong people, both of you. You got to give yourself that type of space. You really, really, really do, because we are our most powerful beings at the same time. You're a powerful being. Walk in that power, darling.
Absolutely. All right, well. And on that note.
So this is getting a little too earnest for me. I'm just kidding. I live.
Okay, so remember, if you have no one else,
you got us.